Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Business as a Magical Practice. And today we have a fun episode where we're diving into the visionary CEO. If you have been a long listener, you've heard me talk about the visionary CEO quite a bit because it really is a core element in having both a profitable and productive business, especially with you getting a lot more of your time back. And so the study that I like to reference is from the Harvard Business Review. And that was, I can't remember which year it was in. We'll reference it. But they studied a group of CEOs of larger businesses, and what they found is that CEOs often fell into two different categories: the CEO managers and the CEO visionaries. So the CEO managers are CEOs that have their hands in the business, they're managing the day-to-day, they're actually a part of managing the people, managing the different projects. And then there's the visionary CEOs. And these are CEOs where, if you're thinking about larger businesses, this is probably what you think of when you think of a CEO. So they're holding the higher vision of the business. They're not in the day-to-day at all. They are more working on high-level projects. And they found that between the two categories, the visionary CEOs were actually the ones, their businesses were not only more productive than the businesses that had manager CEOs, but they also had businesses that were more profitable than businesses that had manager CEOs. So this is incredibly important because if you are a spiritual entrepreneur, if you're a magical person, then you probably don't want to be a manager in your business. That is not something that lights you up. You just want to be casting the vision, holding the vision, playing a part in your craft, channeling your genius into the world. You actually want to be that visionary CEO naturally. And a lot of us just guilt ourselves into thinking that we need to manage our business when that is just not the case. So hopefully this alone will help you start shifting into allowing yourself to believe that you can be the visionary CEO and giving yourself a permission slip to lean into that archetype or that role. And so today I'm bringing on some lovely guests. These were members of or participants in or adventurers in the last round of my Alchemical Business Intensive, which is the five-month mastermind to building a business that does the work for you. So they're coming on to tell you about how they define the visionary CEO and what that transition actually looked like for them after over the last half of the year and what that looked like in their business. So I'm really excited to share this with you. It's going to be really, really good. And I was just so delighted to hear what each of them said. So enjoy. I'll see you on the other side.
Hi, everybody. I'm Maud Shellhouse, and I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I'm also a certified behavioral therapist, and I'm a hypnotherapy teacher. And I'm in California. I have been in my business now for almost 27 years, and I love it even more than when I started it. So it means to be in my sphere of genius, to be a visionary CEO. It means that I'm focusing my energy and my time on what really speaks to me at a heart level. It means that I'm creating good balance in my life, work-life balance, that I'm freeing up my time, that I'm making a great income so that I'm not constantly under stress and pressure, and that I'm able to grow my business through doing what I love to do and having a really competent, engaged, wonderful staff helping me with all of the parts that they love to do so that we can work together. I really have gotten the message from taking this course that I shouldn't be spending my time on the things that I think that I should do just because I think I should do everything in my business. That's been really, really huge. And it has been a lot more fun. Like, I really feel like I can bring myself back to that place of what really matters to me. What do I want to focus my attention on? And what is my sphere of genius and how can I stay there? Because that's really what makes the business what I want it to be.
Yeah, I'm Tamara. My business is Tamara the Brave. I live in the Northern Rivers of New South Wales in Australia. And my business is around transformational mentoring, spending time with humans as they transform their lives from the inside out. And I do that through one-on-one coaching over 6 or 12 months. And I also have an online program, which is a 12-week group journey called Emerge, which is launching soon. Yeah, I feel like those two things, visionary and CEO, are two aspects of myself that I've needed to really grow into and own. And I think in the past, I've sort of treated them as almost two polarities. And partly this journey has been about bringing them together and seeing them actually as a union, you know, that it can be both. And it is both within this particular human, that there is this capacity for vision, and then there's a capacity to bring that to life and make it real and run a business based around that vision. And so, yeah, it's been the merging of polarities, a large theme in my own personal development for the last kind of 10 years. And this is how it's showing up in business for me, is that kind of, that merging of what I previously treated as two separate aspects of myself. It feels a little bit like I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. Like there's this sense of, oh, these two parts of myself that I've previously lived, you know, in polarity have come together. So there's this deep sense of rightness and being right here, right now, with this body of work that really wants to come through. And particularly as the world continues to get a little bit more mental, you know, like there's a war in the Northern Hemisphere. There's natural disasters down the street from me right now. We're at the end of 2 years of lockdowns and shutdowns and weirdness because of that. The world is like completely crazy. It's not going to change. You know, I feel like it's actually ramping up. And this body of work helps people build the inner resources that you need for life. And it's kind of getting more important. And so for me, I'm in a place where I'm really ready now to kind of bring that through and have that, you know, be available to more people.
So I am Helena Grant, a transformational coach, metaphysical healer, and priestess of the kite. And I work with clients and students in transformational online programs, one-to-one coaching. And I also create, host, and produce online summits myself. I do about 2 per year. And I'm also certified in assisting people in producing and creating their own online summits, which is so deeply transformative. It's just an incredible process. It's so much fun. It's an amazing way to attain visibility, expand audience, and also just go through so much deep personal transformation. I am a certified existential kink practitioner. I'm all about integrating the shadow for just total delight and joy in the full spectrum of the human experience. And I'm also a 200-hour certified yoga teacher and a mother of 2 young children. In fact, I had a 3-week-old at the time ABI started in the fall. So yeah, that gives people, he's now 6 months and my daughter is 7 years old. So I'm 100% mompreneur as well as visionary CEO. So a visionary CEO to me is someone who is so embodied, deeply confident, and in total communion with the fact that we are vessels of our businesses. Like we are called to be delivering our businesses into the world, our messaging into the world, our brands into the world. And so a lot of that, yes, is being like a conduit and a vessel of it, but really like a mother too, that you do need to do some nurturing. You need to offer some mentorship to the business. It's almost like you're relating to it as a separate entity. You talk a lot about this, Sam. And also like a visionary CEO is someone who can tune into that vision, that really big vision, that really big message, that calling, and know what they need to do that is in their zone, that they're really good at, that only they can do, and get out of the way in all the other areas and let other people step up and give their gifts in the areas that they are totally primed, totally ready, and really very, they're going to be so much more productive than you are. So there's a lot of like surrender in a visionary CEO archetype, and a lot of delegation, and a lot of like just like the holding of the energy in general of the business, and also like the holding of the people that are supporting the structure overall of the business, that you're helping them, supporting them in them supporting you, you're also supporting them. And that takes a lot of space. You have to be creating a lot of space for yourself and for the team that you're calling in. But you know that it's so much bigger than you, and it's so much bigger than right now too. It's about the world. It's about humanity. It's really about the universe.
Hell yeah. I love this point of the spaciousness, because it is, a lot of us, or some of us, have this attachment to, I need to produce a certain level of work, or I need to work hard enough in order to deserve this, in order to achieve this. When really, when you're being that visionary CEO, your to-do list changes. And there actually needs to be these big open spaces in your calendar so that you can channel the energy, hold the energy. Like, I mean, you mentioned that you're a priestess, like so much of that is like holding the mantle of what you are embodying, and you holding the pose, right?
Yeah, and making sure in holding the pose, you are so steady, and you are comfortable too. This is one of the primary yoga sutras, is that you can hold the pose and it's steady and it's comfortable. And positioning yourself as a visionary CEO is not for the faint of heart. You get tested, and there are days where you want to just pull the covers over your head and hide and give up. And it's not necessarily, for me, it's not about overcoming that. It's sort of like actually giving yourself the time and the space to do that, so that you can replenish and recharge, and, come back the next day and you're just singing and dancing and ready to really just be there for all of it. I think that there is a whole new level of optimism. I'm a very optimistic, very positivity is one of my my top traits, one of my greatest gifts. But it's a whole new, more like embodiment of optimism, and also feeling so clear on like the scheduling and the structure of my business, and a huge transformation. This is ongoing work for me, is overcoming what I call the MacGyver kink, where I just love I want to save the world by healing it. And I just love the excitement of the last minute, having no time left. And when I come from that place, it's very difficult for my team to support me. So it's working with that kink. And really now I'm like, okay, it's actually about having a very steady business. And now I see it. I'm like, okay, there's going to be Courageous is going to be the fall program. Attunement's going to be the spring program. And then I have some things I can sprinkle in. I've got my summits I'll keep creating. And I'm just like, okay, it can feel so good in the plan, the structure, and the schedule. And that creates so much space for more transmissions, more visioning, and also creating excitement elsewhere in my life. So I'm going to be getting my pilot's license, and I really think I think that's going to fulfill this like I need like the adrenaline rush. I'm like, maybe I should do some skydiving too, so I don't try and like impose that in my business, in my experience of my business, which is what I've been doing for so long. It's like I'm trying to get that excitement out of my business, and I'm like, that was fun and that was effective in some ways when it was a very infantile business. But now there's just this whole new maturation of me as the visionary CEO and my business as a brand that has real resonance and longevity. And so it can, again, have that steadiness and continued sustainable and sustained growth.
This is so good, because so many people, like you hear all the time of like, you don't want your spouse to be your every person. Like you need to have friends and girlfriends and the fitness instructor and like all these other things instead of expecting our spouse to be everything. Same with your business. You like, your business should not be your source of drama and excitement. And like we put so much on that. So I love that you brought that up. And for anyone listening, like Helena has shared that she's a manifesting generator and like definite like total fertility goddess in terms of the ideas that come through her mind, because she's such a channel. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs resonate with that of like, I want to put out this program and that program and now this thing and that thing. And there's so much excitement in that. But really, Helena's pointing to how you can actually build a much more stable, sustainable business when you channel that energy purposefully instead of just like it kind of running you.
Yeah, because if you're letting that energy run you, you're going to get run ragged, because that energy doesn't know what your limitations are. So when you act as the channel, to me, that's creating really strong, firm boundaries. And I love to recommend writing your divine sacred contract with your business. What are your requirements of your business and what are your commitments to your business? And that really sets up that more energetic container of like, okay, this is what I'm willing to do and this is what I want in return. And really ensuring that you are like creating that space for the flow of the energy of the business to move through you and be delivered into the world, and also feel really nourished and delighted by it. There's always going to be drama in life. You don't have to be creating it.
I am a stoic witch, an astrologer, and a coach for entrepreneurs. And I blend astrology and the life coaching techniques that I learned through the life coach school to totally fate, to coach at the crossroads of fate and free will. I would like to change the way entrepreneurs interact with fate and implement their free will very consciously in a way that helps them step into their fate as opposed to fighting it. And so I don't think most people think about their lives in quite that way. I think they think that they're living in a first person video game, essentially. Like a first person shooter is the way that it works out in my head, when in reality it's more of a strategy game, and the worldview is much broader than that and much bigger, and it's not every individual choice and getting stuck in it. And I guess for me, the visionary part of that would be me being able to express that more succinctly and show people that fate is a real thing, but it doesn't take away from their free will. It accentuates it and it makes it even more beautiful. And it highlights the impact that they were always meant to play in the world, whatever that may be. And also stepping into my own fate, because I know what my chart says about my fate, and I know how resistant I have been to it, because I'm willing to do the astrology part, and I haven't been. Like, I have been very, 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 very resistant for a very long time about making astrology something that I offer publicly. I wasn't doing forecasts. I wasn't advertising readings. I would do it for people who knew that I did it. And the calendar doesn't count in my head because it's just data. It's not interpretive. It's not coaching. It's literally just data because I'm good at systems. And so, but I'm supposed to be doing astrology and teaching and on a big stage. Like, I know what my chart says, and I didn't want to do it. I wanted to do it from a support position as opposed to, say again?
A closet.
Yeah, a closet would be good. Like a nice dark closet without a camera. I like that. But that's not what my chart says. It really isn't. And I think I've definitely made huge strides in accepting that and changing the way that I think about what I offer.
Okay, so how good were those? I hope that delighted you as much as it did for me. I know that it did actually. And look, I know where you're at. Right now, you're so caught up in managing the minutia of your business that you don't have the time or mental energy to do the things that make your soul sing, that you're meant to be doing in the world. And the reasons that you started a business to begin with, right? So I'm here to remind you that all of this is possible for you. You can witness your clients smile when you say your price on sales calls instead of making excuses to leave because they already know that the transformation you guide them through is priceless. You can schedule an hour every day or 2 hours or 3 hours for the spiritual practices and the magical practices that you love because you know that elevating your mind and spirit helps you channel your highest and best work. And you have a team, you have a business that's running without you, so you don't actually have to be there managing it all the time. You can actually turn off your computer at 3 p.m. and not have to worry about it or look at your phone again until the next morning when you're ready to jump back in. And you can actually spend your time doing the things that you really want to do. So I do invite you, if you haven't yet, to check out the Alchemical Business Intensive. The URL is thedirtyalchemy.com/ABI. Link is in the show notes. And this is a very high touch container. It's 5 months long. You get, when you join, you get the 6-module training that actually marries your powerful magic with very real business structures to build a solid foundation for your business as a separate powerful entity from you. You get weekly group coaching calls within the container. You get a seat at our kickoff event where you get a huge download of everything you need to know for the 5 months that we work together. You get access to the program for your whole team. So if you have a virtual assistant, if you have an OBM, if you have a full-on team, they're invited into the program as well. So you don't actually have to learn the SOPs or the how-tos of building systems. You can just tell them to go watch those things and do them for you. There is copy coaching to support you in refining your message and attracting your ideal clients. So you, Elizabeth, on my team, you can submit Instagram posts or sales pages or website copy for her to actually review and give you feedback on. So not only do you get to elevate your copy, but you get to learn how to write better copy. You get access to our private Slack channel where you get to make new friends and collaborators. And this is actually where members in the past rounds have given exchanged astrology readings, energy work, body work sessions. You get to all connect together in there. And I do encourage peer coaching, peer sessions to really make the community strong. You get lifetime access to our SOP vault, and an SOP is a standard operating procedure. And we have over 50 of them where these are literal how-tos of how to do certain things in successful business that we've used in our business for clients' businesses. And you can like straight up steal them, hand them to your team, or take them through yourself and get things set up. So you get to save hours of time and just have a massive head start. Tons of tech how-tos for all of the things. And really in just 5 months, you can go from being bogged down with your endless to-do list to having a spacious schedule that feels like freedom and makes you excited to get to work every day. It will help take you from feeling chained to your desk by anxiety that your business might catch fire without you if you leave, to actually reclaiming hours of time every week for nourishing relationships, spiritual reflection, pursuing other hobbies, growing your craft, or just like taking a nap, you know? And really going from resenting that you have to do everything you're on your own to being fully supported by a team that cares about your business as much as you do. And that is me and my team, as well as a team that you can build yourself if you're ready to build a team and you're at that point where it financially makes sense for you to scale on that level. So I invite you to check out the rest of the program. It is thedirtyalchemy.com/ABI. All of the details are on that page, and also a button. Just click the apply now buttons, one of the many buttons on that page, to fill out the application. It does take less than 15 minutes. And after that, you'll be invited to jump on a 30-minute call with me to discuss if this is the right fit for you and your business. And if you have any questions, like please go to the information page, because there are dozens and dozens of testimonials from previous ABI participants and it'll really give you a clear picture of what to expect. And yeah, I'm excited, you guys. We only we're closing at the end of this month, at the end of April 2022, and we'll be we're starting in May for our 5 months together. And we're like, there are only a few spots left, or there's a maximum of 15 people we're taking in. Plenty of those spots have already been taken. So definitely, this is calling to you. There's no risk in applying and booking a call with me just to discuss where you're at. And I can't wait to read about your business, connect with you, and I'll talk to you soon.